Good morning, welcome to Catex TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Tuesday, April 21st, 2015. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to Catex TV. Very strong storms are battering the Sydney, Australia area and the central coast region of Australia. Cyclonic winds of up to about 85 to 90 miles per hour, as well as torrential rain, has been battering the area for the past 36 hours. At least 3 people are reported dead. Power has been cut off to over 200,000 homes. Flooding has been seen throughout the area. The police have been responding to thousands and thousands of requests for help. Sydney recorded its wettest day on record in the past 13 years when it saw 4.7 inches of rain. Sydney Harbor has been closed for the day because of very heavy swells and significant waves. Cancellation of ferry services, as well as the stranding of a cruise ship offshore, which we'll talk about next. The Premier of New South Wales, Mike Baird, is saying that the weather emergency is likely to worsen today, and he's calling on employers to allow employees to either leave work early or work from home. Meanwhile, the cruise ship Carnival Spirit is thrashing about in very rough seas outside of the port of Sydney. According to videos and interviews with the passengers, the ship was smashed by rough seas for up to 12 hours last night. The swells were about 30 feet high, and they cannot get the harbor pilot out of Sydney Harbor to board the ship in order to bring it into the harbor. So the ship is simply circling around out there off the coast of Australia. We're supposed to make port in Sydney today at 5 a.m., but the weather is keeping it at sea. Carnival is saying that the ship is waiting off the coast until the port reopens. The ship is carrying 2,124 passengers. The ship had been on a 12-day cruise from New Caledonia, Vanuatu, and Fiji, and the name of the ship is the Carnival Spirit cruise liner. Trinidad and Tobago have been jolted by an earthquake with a magnitude of 4.8 yesterday. This is the second sharp quake to hit the oil-rich Twin Island Republic in the past 6 days. The University of the West Indies said the quake was felt at 3:11 a.m. It was also felt in neighboring Venezuela. Last Wednesday, an earthquake of 5.4 rocked the island. It was also felt in Venezuela and as far north as Grenada. Officials have warned the country to be prepared for much stronger earthquakes. According to a report today in the Financial Times in England, the Bank of England has asked the American and U.S. Treasury why Berkshire Hathaway's reinsurance operations have been left off the list of too big to fail financial institutions. Berkshire's reinsurance operations include Berkshire Hathaway Reinsurance and General Reinsurance. Berkshire also owns primary insurer Geico, and in 2014, about $41 billion of Berkshire's $195 billion in revenue came from insurance premiums earned. The Financial Times notes that the British Financial Stability Board has named 9 primary insurers, including MetLife, Prudential, and AIG, systemically important financial institutions, which subjects them to further regulation and capital requirements. So far, no reinsurance companies have been added to that list. A small plane crashed shortly after takeoff yesterday from a resort area on the eastern tip of the Dominican Republic, killing all 7 people on board. The pilot of the single-engine PA Piper 32 had taken off from Punta Cana and was apparently trying to return to make an emergency landing when he crashed into a tree. The plane was operated by Sky High Aviation Services. There have been reports that 5 of the people on board were UK citizens. That is not confirmed, and in fact the most recent information is saying that's not true. Taiwan-based chip makers, including TSMC and UMC, have said that their operations were not affected by yesterday's 6.3 magnitude earthquake. Production plants were not damaged by the earthquake. The chip maker Nanya Technology and Inotera Memories indicated that some machines were rebooted during the quake, but the overall impact was negligible. American warships are being deployed to Yemen to monitor ships in the area traveling from Iran, supposedly suspected of trafficking arms to the Houthi rebels. The move is meant to reassure allies in the region. The American ships apparently do not have authority to forcibly board Iranian-flagged ships. The carrier group USS Theodore Roosevelt, a nuclear aircraft carrier, and its accompanying vessels have been moved into the area from the Persian Gulf. It also includes the guided missile cruiser USS Normandy. The Iranian admiral, who is in charge of the Iranian regular navy, said, "We don't let anyone give us warnings and threats because we are working in accordance with international law." He said that the Iranian Navy ships are in the area to combat piracy. And it's all going to depend upon whether the Iranians forcibly, or whether the Iranians peaceably let the Americans, as well as their coalition allies, search their ships. There's a 9-ship convoy steaming towards Yemen as we speak, coming from Iran. A Japanese Maglev train, that's the fastest passenger train in the world, has broken its own world speed record. Japanese rail operator JR Central said that the train reached 375 miles per hour in a test run this morning, surpassing its previous record of 361 miles per hour. Japan's high-speed rail services are among the most advanced in the world. The Maglev line is much different than the Shinkansen bullet trains. This one runs on steel. It runs on magnetic levitation, which hover above the rails, powered by powerful magnets. In an infrastructure project that the United States could only dream of, the Maglev trains are part of the Tokyo to Osaka link, which is expected to cost more than $76 billion. It's going to cut the time currently required to travel between the two cities from 3 hours now on the Shinkansen trains to 1 hour. It's not going to be ready until the late 2020s. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.